What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. They have a new Amazon partnership deal, so we have to go over that. That is going to be a big deal for not only Palantir, but for every single Palantir customer. We're going to go over how great this is and what results can be delivered to Palantir's current customers if they modify their current deal with Palantir and go with this ERP service. We're also going to go over some of the unusual options activity that has been occurring on Palantir over the last week, and I'm going to give you guys some pretty interesting options plays so that you guys can maximize your gains on Palantir going forward. We also have to talk about Cathie Wood continuously adding a lot of shares to her Palantir position. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So taking a look at the chart of Palantir, we all know that there has been a massive sell-off from when Palantir was at its highs around the $45 price point. Now, there were a couple reasons for this sell-off. They did slightly miss their earnings. They were actually profitable, but they actually gave their employees some more compensation, which made it show that they were actually operating in a loss for the year 2020. But this company is amazing. They also had their share lockup period expire, which kind of freaked some people out. But when you look at the actual percentage of what the insiders sold compared to what they own in the company, it was not a big deal. And the overall market was having a correction due to inflation concerns and the rising 10-year treasury yields. And the 10-year actually went over the S&P 500 dividend yield, which we actually covered the importance of that in one of my previous videos. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure you go watch that video. So let's get into some of the interesting options plays and unusual options activity that I have noticed on Palantir recently. So coming over here, we can see that the March 19th expiration date has a lot of unusually high open interest and volume on the calls. So this is only 2 weeks away. And there's a very high open interest on some very deep out of the money calls. So we can see that the 30s have an open interest of about 68,000, and we can see that 14,757 of these contracts were traded on Friday. So either a lot of people are buying the dip, or we are kind of misinterpreting what the volume actually says. Volume actually counts how many contracts were bought and sold in a given day. So the open interest kind of tells you a little bit more of a story, because that is the amount essentially of contracts that are being held by people in people's brokerage accounts right now. These are the amount of contracts that are outstanding, not exercised or closed. So we can come down a little bit further. The 35s have another really high open interest. Even the 40s have a super high open interest with a pretty high volume as well. So option traders are betting on a very steep reversal in the Palantir share price. Now, these contracts do not have to go in the money, which means that Palantir would not have to go to, in this case, 40.17 for these contracts to start to have some intrinsic value. But the Palantir share price would actually just have to start ripping up in order to make these contracts gain in value. If Palantir only had like a plus 1 or 2% day, these contracts are still going to decay due to time premium, implied volatility, and the actual cost of the options. Now, I looked at the April expiration date, and there was nothing really crazy that stood out to me. But if we go out to this January 22 expiration date, this is actually a very smart play to get into. So Palantir's highs was around 45. So you could get these $45 strikes for Palantir right now for $405. That was the last price, but the bid ask now is $415 to $450. If you believe that Palantir is going to go above the $45 price point by January, this would be a smart play. Now, the break even on these contracts would be about $49.05 according to the last price. But these are still a very good play if you want to play some longer term Palantir options. Now we can see that the open interest on these 50s is pretty high. Same thing with these 40s. But what's interesting on these pretty far out of the money contracts with a lot of time is if we come over here, there's actually a pretty significant amount of volume. We can see the 30s, which are slightly closer to the money, have a volume of about 4,500, and these 50s even have a volume of almost 3,300. So options traders are betting that Palantir is going to be in a bullish uptrend for the rest of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. So let's get into this Amazon deal that Palantir is going to be engaging in. So coming over here, Palantir and Amazon Web Services team up for ERP Suite. So this ERP Suite is very big. So Palantir's ERP Suite is optimized to run on Amazon Web Services to assist customers with data integration and analysis. The suite has already been adopted by a number of enterprises, including BP, which we are going to talk about a little bit later, and Lanxess to enable significant cost savings within weeks. So basically, if we come down here a little bit more, Palantir has been working with Amazon Web Services over the past year on a number of different projects and believes companies that adopt its new ERP suite will see quick results. Within 2 weeks of installing the ERP suite, BP, British Petroleum, was able to unlock approximately $50 million in working capital and has the potential to unlock further savings if applied across their worldwide supply chain, the company said. That's unbelievable. Palantir is going to be able to make these companies so efficient and free up some capital. And this is going to benefit any type of company. We really haven't seen the full extent of the addressable market for Palantir at the current time. Because they're a data analytics company, their softwares and platforms could apply to almost anybody. We've seen them have lots of big contracts with the United States government, the United Kingdom's government, and a lot of very substantial companies across the United States. Now, if they are able to free up so much capital in these companies in such a short amount of time, we could see the development of any company that uses Palantir services grow exponentially, and we as a society could substantially benefit from Palantir's ERP suite indirectly. Coming down, the ERP suite is now available for all Amazon Web Services customers and can be deployed within days. We're excited to be working with Palantir to make this suite of tools available on AWS and to help our customers get to insights faster, unlocking the data they already have. Teresa Carlson, Vice President, Worldwide Public Sector and Industries at AWS. This is big. Palantir's whole business model is taking very complex data and making it very simple for their consumers to read and make data-driven decisions. Data-driven decisions is a very important field, and if you can't analyze the data that you are receiving from your market and you can't make decisions and other people are able to, they're going to greatly exceed you in the market in the future. That's just how it works. The whole market right now is starting to be more data-driven based, and Palantir's ability to siphon off and be a massive player in this market is a very big deal. Now, if we're talking about Palantir, we absolutely need to continue to talk about Cathie Wood and ARK Invest. So recently, Cathie Woods had an interview, and she essentially said that in times of market corrections, she will sell off some of the names that are at a loss to create a paper loss or an actual book loss for tax purposes, and then she will buy into their higher conviction names. So we've seen this for Palantir in a massive way. So taking a look at this chart right here, this tracks the buying behavior of ARK in shares of Palantir over the past couple of months since Palantir went public back in September and ARK Invest initiated their position. So they started off their position with about 21,000 shares at a price of $9.91. And we've seen ARK Invest slowly scale up their position size, but in February, Palantir got bought up in a big way by ARK Invest. We can see right here that they jumped their position size by about 2 million shares. And then if we come over here, we can see that they jumped their position size by another 5 million shares in the middle of February. And coming up now, we can see that ARK Invest owns about 15.5 million shares of Palantir across all of their different ETFs, and that amounts to about $360 to $380 million worth of Palantir. ARK Invest obviously has a lot of conviction in this Palantir play, and they, in my opinion, are going to be holding this company for the long term. I do not think at all that they are going to be trying to buy in and use their ARK effect to artificially jump up the price and then sell off by the end of the year. I don't think that is at all what's going to happen. I think that their investment horizon for Palantir is going to be at least 5 to 10 years. The reason I'm saying this is that Palantir has so much potential and they aren't even close to getting to their whole addressable market. Palantir has continuously gotten new contracts in big amounts and are continuously rolling out their new products. We've seen Gotham a lot, but they are really putting a heavy focus on the Foundry platform. We saw their deal with IBM, in which IBM is going to give Palantir either 20 or 30,000 sales representatives to help sell this product and system to other businesses. At the current time, Palantir has under 20 representatives selling this product. So they are going to have access to a lot of people selling the Foundry platform. And this is, in my opinion, going to massively ramp up the revenue that Palantir is going to receive in the future. Now, this isn't just one-time revenue off a sale of their platform. This is recurring revenue that we are going to see for years and years, and Palantir continuously gets these new deals, and this is a great part of Palantir's business model. If we move back over to the chart of Palantir, again, we are seeing this significant dip, but on Friday, we did see a little bit of a bounce throughout the day, and that was after a pretty significant sell-off in the morning. So I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say in these videos is financial advice. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only, but this dip on Palantir is very attractive. If you are a long-term investor and you like Palantir as a company, you should be absolutely thrilled that you can buy Palantir at this price. Under $24 for Palantir shares is an absolute steal, especially when they were just trading at the $45 price point. We've seen these dips happen with a lot of these hyper growth stocks that we have been talking about on this channel, and these dips are a gift, in my opinion. We've seen a small correction, as I've showed you guys in my previous videos, off of fears of inflation and the rising 10-year treasury yields, but I think in the near future, that is all going to go away. Investors are going to come back into the market, and we are going to see some more bullishness due to the growth nature of these companies. Now, if you have some extra cash lying around, these dips and all of these hyper growth stocks are going to be a great one to buy, and I think it would be a smart decision to start averaging in more into your positions in the companies that you like. So that is going to be it for this update on Palantir Technologies. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.